Hello everyone, today we are making some homemade gnocchi from scratch. Make the dough, I think a pretty simple procedure from what I've seen, and then we're just going to be making a simple dish to go with it. So, with that being said, let's get started with this homemade gnocchi. Why don't we get started with this gnocchi? So, it's pretty simple gnocchi. We are just going to be boiling some potatoes to start off with. So let's get our induction hob out and our potatoes. Alright, so we have a pot here. We are just going to add in potatoes. I don't know how many we are going to use. I think that's probably 4. We'll go with 4 potatoes. Like so. Then we are going to be covering the potatoes with some water. And we're just going to bring it up to a boil and cook it for about 30-40 minutes, basically until it gets soft but not mushy. That's the aim. So starting off, it's pretty simple. So yeah, we will just let this cook for the required amount of time, and then we'll come back to get started with like making the doughy part of it with the potatoes. Okay, so it's been going for about 35-ish minutes or something like that. So we are going to drain these bad boys out, and then we're going to peel the skin off. It's going to be quite warm, but we need to do that. So I'm going to grab a biggish bowl and a smallish bowl. I'm just going to put this in here, and we are just going to try and peel off what we can. This is, I don't know the best way to do this, to be honest, because it's warm. Okay, that's one almost peeled, I think. We just got to get the rest of the skin. But yeah, we're just peeling all the skin off basically. And then we'll mashy in here. Ooh, the paper towel seems to be a good idea. All right, that's all the potatoes done. Now that we have the potatoes done, we are just going to mash them. Mash them up. These are different sized potatoes, so some of them are a bit more cooked than others. I'm just going to mash them and make them cool to touch. Once it's cool enough to touch without burning myself too much, we're going to be adding an egg. Just an egg, and then we are going to be mixing that up. And then we are going to be slowly adding in flour. And that's basically all there is to gnocchi. I'm not sure how cool it necessarily needs to be. I'm not sure if I want to have it warm enough that it will cook, like it will half cook an egg. So I don't know if that's at this stage. Probably not. I want to have it be able to knead pretty easily. We'll start just getting out our other ingredients that we need. All right, we've got our extra stuff here. And I don't know, I think that's cool enough because it's cool enough to touch, at least for me. I don't know if it's... Alright, we are going to add in our egg now because why not? And now we're going to mix this in, and we're also going to add in a bit of salt at this stage. Just a little bit. And now we mix, and I can still feel it's not super fine, so... Probably as good as I'm going to get it. So now we just started adding in flour. Now I think at the end of the day we'll be adding in about 1 to 2 cups, but I'm just going to add in flour as we go, so I can accurately, well, just do it by feel basically until it's like a dough like we usually like it. Let's just add in a bunch, and now we just mix in until we get a nice bouncy dough. I feel like we must be getting close to end goal, right? Alright, I think we're basically at where we need to be. So, we are just going to separate this into 4 pieces. I think we're where we need to be. I don't know, it's hard to tell because the outside's kind of sticky, but... And then we're just going to dust one side. And we're going to turn this into a bit of a tube. Try and make it as even as possible, but Like that. I mean, I think that's pretty decent. Yeah, let's go with that. Then we're just gonna make little gnocchis. And this is where we're gonna make our sort of divots. Kind of like that. Obviously I'll get better as time goes on. But yeah, now we just make our gnocchi, I suppose. And yeah, so this would probably take me a little while. We're just going to do that and chuck it on here. And hopefully that will be okay. Just gonna leave this right there. And yeah, so I'm just gonna be making basically all this dough into gnocchi. So this is gonna take me a little while. So this should be fun. All right, so we have now completed basically all our gnocchi. I actually have another tray in the freezer. And that's the good thing with this is you could just chuck it in the freezer and you basically get gnocchi ready to go. So I'm just gonna pick out a few of these ones from this one to cook with. I think that should be a good amount. And this will go into the freezer as well. Time to clean up a little bit. I got some of my gnocchi, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do just a classic sage, butter, brown butter, whatever you wanna call it, gnocchi meal. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit, and I'll be back with the induction hob ready to cook these gnocchi. All right, we have our induction hob ready to rock and roll. And you know, cooking gnocchi is just like cooking pasta. We bring up water to a boil. When it's boiling, we add in some salt, and then we add in our gnocchi, and we're just gonna cook it until it's kind of floating. We now have some bubbling water. We are going to now add in our gnocchi. And we're going to add in a generous amount of salt, like that. And we'll just let that cook. Just going to stir it around a little bit as well so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. Yeah, we've got some floaty boys. A little bit longer. Alright, that's good. We're just going to take this off, put it to the side. Now we are going to grab our next boy, and we are going to be putting some butter down. Gotta make sure we get our butter all melted. So when this butter starts bubbling, just a little bit longer. I think that might be a good stage. We're just going to chuck in some sage, whole sage. Like so. Doesn't need to be for too long. Now we add in our gnocchi. Look at that go. Now we just let it sit there and crispen up. It smells delectable. And at this stage we're just going to add a little bit of salt as well. Alright, so let's flip them over a little bit. Look at that. And then we just let that cook for a little bit longer. I wonder if I put too much butter. I think we're good. I think we are good. Alright, let's just zoom it out a little bit. Alright, I think we're good. We're going to turn this off. We're just going to chuck it in here. I mean, look at that. Does that just not look so tasty? I am so excited to try this. So obviously we're going to just chuck a bit of flaky salt onto it. And let's dig in, shall we? All right, here we go. So we got our gnocchi here. Oh, cool. I mean, you can't really go wrong with butter, fried anything, right? Try a bit of sage. So, oh, it's so good. So good. I think the gnocchi was actually cooked perfectly. It's got that little bit of chew, but still not overcooked. So I'm not sure if it gets super chewy when gnocchi's overcooked. And tender. You got the butter, you got the crispiness. This is good. No wonder this is like a fan favorite. Like butter, sage, gnocchi with a tad of salt. You can put a bit of parmesan on top of there as well, and I'm sure that would hit the spot as well. So good. Now obviously you can use gnocchi with a lot of different stuff. Like I have some pesto, which I've done in a previous video, I think the homemade pasta video. I made some pesto. That should go well with this. Some sort of pasta sauce. Maybe even like a cheesy sauce, like a gorgonzola or mac and cheese style sauce. Maybe the vegan mac and cheese will go well with this. I don't know. But this is fantastic. And the gnocchi turned out super good. I'm really happy. That kind of fluffiness, chewiness. I'm glad I did the fork to add a little bit more texture. But, it's so good. But yeah, that is homemade gnocchi from scratch and a simple sage butter kind of sauce to go with it. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I am enjoying this gnocchi. Peace.